Infused Journal is going to be a name for my worldbuilding project and stories through which I will be exploring lore, people, and places in my world. Enjoy! About infusions and infused nations. If you heard about the legend of the Three Hills, the oldest legend we know about, if you heard that story, then you know where the race of men came from. But what about the woman from the legend? Well, welcome to my world. Here, those like her we call infusions. And all that we know, everything starts with them. So who or what are infusions? Answer to that question will depend on who you ask, and depending where you ask, since different nations have different opinions about them. But one thing that we can all agree on is that no infusion can hide in this world anymore. Let me explain. On rare occasions, somebody is just born as infusion. No one really knows who, when, where, or why. But infusions are physically different from the rest. Their bodies have changed, usually growing different or extra parts, such as feathers, scales, claws, or basically anything. Always different. Most would think that something otherworldly is growing from inside them. At least it is how it looks. Anyway, most of what people know about infusions comes from the Infused Church. People in many places I visited worship infusions as parts of the god or gods themselves. They believe that infusions are carrying evil spirits, infused somewhere deep between their body and soul. If you ask a priest about it, he would say, "Infusions are here to save us from ourselves. They allow us to live in this world. They protect us. Without them, evil inside our souls would grow until we destroy each other." If you travel a little, you would probably find dozens of statues. They are everywhere, in towns, villages, in forests, all for the purpose of prayer and offering. So don't worry, you will be protected. Besides collecting offerings, the Infused Church is responsible for finding infusions and placing them in temples, where they can be guarded and protected from the rest of the world. And currently there are only 4 temples with infusions inside, each protected with 111 guards, 100 from outside and 11 from inside. Mostly anyone could be trained to be outside guard, but the only way to be inside is to be part of 11 infused families. Soon, I wish to visit one of them. He was inside a temple that was guarded 4 years ago. Still, I can't say that I'm fully convinced in the beliefs of the Infused Church, but I can understand people born there. There are also few other nations outside the range of Infused Church. We call them Infused Kingdoms. My last research was in the Kingdom of the Grun, named by their first infusion king. Yes, there they are finding infusions in their regions and making them their kings and queens. Though there is also a rumor that their current king Eater was found and taken from the wild land, where the tribes still live. Truth or not, I will say, the Kingdom of the Grun is a harsh and strict place to live these days. Until almost a century ago, the Kingdom of the Grun was the biggest and most powerful nation. There are lots of stories about King Tegrun's creation of the kingdom. He wanted to create a safe place for people and infusions. His power was greater than anything people have ever seen. He created his whole palace in one night and the rest of the walls in another. Though people outside the kingdom would say that he covered the sky with his wings, so the night would last for years. Whatever the case, I'm sure he had some sort of powers. Except him, we know only of a few other infusions that did something unexplainable. And that happened only in few specific places. Most of those places are now guarded by Infused Church and their temples. I also mentioned tribes, but I still can't say much about them, since they are usually hard to reach and you could never know what you're gonna find there. One can only imagine how many infusions were born there and what happened with them. But I guess if you're one of the infusions, it would be better to be born in a tribe than somewhere in diffused parts of the world, where people would think of you only as a monster.